The Moonbeam's Hug. Chapter 1. The Moonbeam's journey begins. High above the world, where the sky stretched like a velvet blanket studded with tiny silver stars, the moon watched over the sleeping earth. Her face was round and glowing, casting a soft, milky light over rooftops, treetops, and quiet streets. But tonight, something special stirred in her heart. A tiny moonbeam, no bigger than a ribbon of mist, quivered at the edge of the moon's glow. She was the youngest and most curious of all the moonbeams, always peering down at the world below, wondering about the children tucked into their beds. "What if they're afraid of the dark?" she whispered to herself. "What if they need someone to tell them good night?" The other moonbeams shimmered around her, busy weaving dreams or painting the edges of clouds with silver, but this little moonbeam, let's call her Luna, couldn't shake the feeling that she was meant for something more. A bold decision. Luna took a deep breath, if moonbeams could breathe, and stepped to the very edge of the moon's glow. Below her, the world was a patchwork of shadow and light, houses with glowing windows, streets hushed under the night, and the distant murmur of a lullaby floating from an open window. "I'm going down," she announced. The other moonbeams gasped. "But you've never left the moon before," one said. "What if you get lost?" another worried. Luna trembled, but then she thought of the children, little ones who might be waiting, just waiting for a bit of comfort in the dark. "I have to try," she said. And with that she leapt. The descent. Falling from the moon wasn't like falling from a tree. It was slow, gentle, like floating on a breeze. Luna stretched herself thin, becoming a wisp of light, slipping past stars and drifting clouds. The wind carried her, whispering secrets of the night as she spiraled downward. "Look for the windows," the wind murmured. "The ones with the softest sighs, the ones where little hearts beat just a little too fast." Luna nodded, or at least she would have if she had a head, and let herself glide toward a row of houses. One window in particular caught her eye, a small half-open pane with a nightlight flickering inside. The first child, quiet as a shadow, Luna slipped through the gap in the window. Inside, the room was dim but cozy, with stuffed animals piled on a tiny bed and a little boy Liam curled under his blanket, his eyes wide open. "I don't like the dark," Liam whispered to no one. Luna's heart, if moonbeams had hearts, squeezed. This was why she had come. She floated closer, her glow brightening just enough to cast a silvery pool of light on Liam's bedsheet. Then, softly, so softly, she began to hum. It wasn't a song with words, but a melody made of starlight and whispers, the kind that settles deep in your chest and makes you sigh. Liam blinked. "Hello?" he whispered. Luna couldn't speak, not in words he'd understand, so she did the next best thing. She wrapped herself around him like a hug made of light. A silvery hug. Warmth spread through the room. Liam's tense shoulders relaxed. The shadows in the corners didn't seem so scary anymore. He yawned, nestling deeper into his pillow. "Nice hug," he mumbled, his eyelids fluttering shut. Luna stayed there, glowing softly, until his breathing slowed into the steady rhythm of sleep. Then, ever so gently, she untangled herself and drifted back toward the window. A promise to continue. As she hovered in the night air, Luna looked back at Liam, now peaceful in his bed. A quiet joy bubbled inside her. She had done it. She had brought comfort where it was needed. But the night was long, and there were more windows to visit, more children waiting for a moonbeam's hug. With a determined shimmer, Luma set off into the darkness, ready for her next adventure. End of chapter 1.